I smelled this funny smell like WD-40 and dirt and everything, and I didn't know if we were dead or alive.
Kreepers. That gentleman that you guys just saw in the clip was a frightened passenger on the night of December 28th of 1978. United Airlines flight number 173, departing from New York, headed to Colorado, prepared for a landing in Portland, Oregon, which never happened. And unfortunately, the pilot had to make a life-changing decision, landing the plane in a residential neighborhood not too far from here. Today's definitely a touchy one, even all these years later. We're gonna go check out the actual crash site. We're gonna take a look at some pictures from then and now. We're gonna talk a little bit more about how the plane actually crashed. So stay tuned, today's definitely an interesting one. And first and foremost, just like any of the vlogs where we visit headstones or visit history of the past, it might be touchy. I kind of wanted to just honor anybody that was involved in this story or who lost ones that they loved, anything like that, with just this little peaceful fountain from the get-go. I know this story could be touching even so many years later. There was 178 passengers on the plane that day. 10 died. We're going to talk a little bit more about it. I hope you guys stay tuned. Today's definitely an interesting one.
December 28th, 1978, around 6:15 p.m.
I smelled this funny smell like WD-40 and dirt and everything, and I didn't know if we were dead or alive.
This passenger was one of 179 people to survive. 10 people, including 3 children, died.
This guy's trying to get through. So we made it. It's a pretty good trek down Burnside here, but we are directly in front of the plane crash. Now, like I said in the beginning, this is really touchy for a lot of folks. So again, I want to just kind of document these things to keep people's memories alive and, you know, all that good stuff. But I could see where this would probably, even years later, you know, there were some fatalities. But right here is the spot. And if you guys can see, there are 2 sets of apartments here. But back when this happened, which was probably a really cold December night, not nice like it is now, the plane crash would have literally crashed right here in this driveway. And another interesting fact is, I believe this could be a myth, but I was told when they reconstructed this, if you were to actually measure from each corner of the driveway over, it's the exact length of that Delta plane. I don't know if that was coincidence or if they did it on purpose or what the deal is with that, but here is the exact spot right here where that plane would have been landed. And I was able to pull up some pictures and I'm trying to insert here at different angles, but just kind of wanted to show you guys what it looked like today. And I just find that so interesting that that driveway is you know, supposedly the same length in case maybe it happened again. Another interesting thing is on the documents that I did look up, there's another field here across the street, which I thought may have been, but there's actual coordinates to this building here, or these complexes now, or triplexes or apartments, whatever they may be. But right there where the sidewalk meets the driveway there, that would have been it. And another really interesting tidbit of info was the pilot was basically circling above for, I think it said 45 minutes, maybe longer, trying to figure out what was going on with the landing gear. The landing gear latch wouldn't light up. But in the long run, when they did investigate, the landing gear would have worked. It just didn't light up a certain light in the cockpit. So the plane, or, you know, the pilot basically just circled and then ran out of gas, which reinstated all the rules for flying, the pilots, things of that nature. But if you can see here from this angle, the plane would have been basically out of the driveway itself. And in the old pictures, you can see cars and bikes. We're on a main thoroughway. You can see a lot of these trees all through here. So this was basically all trees. So if you're up in the sky circling around trying to figure out where to land, you know, this was all open area back here. You know, the roads were here, but the train obviously wasn't. I think Max wasn't built till like maybe 84 or 5. So, you know, none of this was here. I think maybe these homes were here, and maybe this house. You can vaguely see the side, the corner here. I'm thinking that's the house. If not, there were some locations of some houses around here. But yeah, to this day you can still see these. I think they're Douglas firs, which, you know, as a pilot, basically flying around trying to figure out where you're going to land. You don't want to land right in a major road. So out of any place, that was probably better. The better of the spots, really. So another little tidbit of info is the girls, well, one of the passengers on the plane was like an 8-year-old little girl, and both of her family members were involved in the fatalities. And the city of Portland, or maybe even the state, awarded her $900,000 on behalf of such a tragic accident. But if you can see right through here, still would make for kind of a landing pad. You can see in the back there all those tall Douglas firs still chilling. So definitely touchy even all these years later, but I wanted to kind of come here and just see the site myself. Passed it many of times and didn't realize it was actually right here. In one of the shots you can see the plane basically sitting this way right up the driveway, and if you look closely, I believe this, which is now the offices for the apartments, I believe that house is in the shot as well, right about here. And then if you look closely, these little trees were real small, but you can see the window right there. Like I said too, flying around in circles for a decent amount of time, I can only imagine how not only the pilot but the passengers on the plane felt, probably scared. In the beginning here, I showed you guys a clip. That was actually one of the passengers who survived, and when he said when they landed there was so much dirt and dust and everything like that that they weren't sure if they were alive or dead. Pretty scary though, amongst all these trees. Kind of a better place to land though. Like I said, if you ask me, there was a ton of other kind of worse options at the time. So for years, I guess the captain, or, you know, the pilot himself, felt terrible and have nightmares and everything like that. So definitely a not so great story, but a piece of history, and it actually helped save other people's lives later on because of all the laws and things that went into effect right after he crashed. So pretty interesting story. But right there, that is the spot, right about there. They say planes are safer than cars.